Good evening and welcome to Stephen Retention tonight with a bit of a special episode. The mood is dark. The flames are bright. And the smoke is rising. I'm performing a ritual. So, some of you may have had a preconceived notion that rituals are evil, are bad. This is just your ignorance that is causing an issue. Rituals are important. And if you want to be able to detach from certain things, performing a ritual, especially in alignment to your progression, will amplify your chances of success, if not just rapidly manifest it into your reality. So here I have a candle and I'm going to light it. I'm not going to dip it in there, that's not going to work. But I have carved on the candle, it is very bright. Excuse me if I start crying. I'm not emotional. It's just the flames are wicked. So, if you carve your intentions into a candle, and these intentions are things that you want to release from your life, imagine what it would be like if you carved the words lust. If you carved the words just something light-hearted, Kuma. If you carved the words one night stand. If you carved the words masturbation. If you carved the words friends with benefits. If you carve the word wet dream, succubi, relapse, you really need to understand that words are spells. Everything you say and everything you write down is a frequency projecting into the universe. And if you're going to write something down, you better hope that it's going to be good for you. Because chances are it's going to happen. So, in tonight's ritual, what I'm doing is I've wrote down a list of names on that candle. One of them I was in a relationship with for 9 months, and I had a lot of trauma from that. Yeah, that's right, men can get trauma from relationships. She was mentally unstable. I thought I could fix her, and that was the first mistake I made, was thinking that I could fix someone. That's pure ego. That's arrogant, ignorant, and just idiotic. Another name is carved into that candle. She was the rebound of the relationship. And let's just say that she overstayed her welcome. And if I was emotionally and spiritually immature enough, I wouldn't have had a rebound. I would have dealt with my trauma. So, when it comes to, look at this, I'm getting snot and water's running from my eyes from the smoke. So when it comes to those two names, those are names that have continued to exist on my phone. They have tried to call me. They have followed me on social media. They have popped up in my dreams. They have manifested through different bodies. They have manifested through different feelings, thoughts, locations. And now I've put their names on the candle, ready to burn. Forever. They're gone. As soon as that candle is finished, they've perished. And then there's one more name on there. And this one was the recent person that I talked about in a video before this one. The recent one. Person I only knew for less than 24 hours. Was with her for less than 24 hours. But it's the first time in my life that I've had a connection with someone that was organic. No dating apps involved. No online talking. Just in-person frequencies. Dancing together. And I got played. And yeah, it's kind of interesting being on this practice for 11 months, and even in that moment when I met her a couple of months ago, deciding to hold on to my life force energy and not let it go, because there was a few things that she had said that had kind of made me think that this isn't going to be something that lasts, so enjoy the moment. Well, I tried to kind of remove attachment to her and all that kind of stuff. But she kept on watching all the stuff that I'd post on social media. She kept on liking everything. But she never messaged me. I messaged her for the first time yesterday, saying, do you want to come to my gig? And she messaged me at the time that my gig had already started, saying that she couldn't make it tonight, she's working, yada yada. Oh, it's been hectic, I'm doing this and that. Kind of classic, response, But you know, it's best for me to just kind of see it for how it is and add it to the candle, burn it. It's got to go. And I didn't put her name on that. I put on something else. Something that represents that moment in time. And that moment in time, it was a word I said. And it was a word I just learned. And that word was ahora. And ahora in Spanish means now. She was a Spanish girl, or she is a Spanish girl, and she was very sexy, very playful, but at the end of the day, nothing was going to happen. It's just the reality of ahora. It just means now. It doesn't mean tomorrow. It doesn't mean a week from today. It means now. And now has already passed. But the real now hasn't passed. The real now is very much alive. And in the real now, I set fire to the past. Semen retention, setting fire to the past. That's the name of this video. So literally what we do is we walk through fire when we go on our retention journey. The amount of trials and tribulations we have to go through on semen retention, people won't be able to fathom the kind of transformation that a male will go through on this practice. Like, I don't understand how I'm the same person that started this practice nearly a year ago. I've been practicing this for longer than a year. It's just that this streak has lasted 11 months. And so much has happened. So many things have happened. So many things have literally, just like a fire, been burnt from my being. It's just been burnt off. It's the purification. It's the smudging of myself. And this is the power. That's the power. The fire. That's the power. That's the energy coming from us. And this That's who we were. Or who we are is on fire. And before we know it, we'll be ash. And we'll return to our pure state. So it gets a bit hot. This fire. Yeah. You need to walk through the fire. You need to do the long streak. Experience this. This is a true test of, in my opinion, masculinity and femininity within your being. Like, we are not just masculine, we have feminine aspects to ourselves, whether you like to acknowledge it or not. The body that we inhabit is a male vessel. That's why we practice semen retention. But our spiritual being has both. And for me, I think semen retention has allowed me to heal my masculine spirit, because all those toxic relationships that I was in the past, they were about turning me weak. They were about suppressing me, making me depressed, pulling me off my purpose. They didn't care about, they didn't care about what was good for me. They only cared about what they wanted. And they didn't even really want me, to be honest. They just wanted someone to fill a void. Because, in my opinion, a relationship is something you don't need. But something that you want. You don't need it out of a necessity, and you don't do it out of necessity. You do it out of the fact that you actually love this person for who they are. You don't try and change anything about them. And then when it comes to healing my inner feminine, well, yeah, I guess that's part of the result of the first phase of semen retention, is you almost go through this kind of hyper-masculine cycle where you kind of hate femininity, you hate weakness, you hate submission, you hate surrender. I'd say surrender is the most key term there. Surrender being the act of allowing the ego to be burnt to death. Surrendering yourself, your projection, your perspective of yourself. That's what it's all about. That's the divine feminine, is destruction. That's what femininity represents. Whereas masculinity represents creativity and creation. Now, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anthony Kiedis wrote in Californication, destruction leads to a very rough road, but it also breeds creation. And earthquakes are to a girl's guitar, they're just another good vibration. and tidal waves couldn't save the world from Californication. What do you think he means by Californication? It's because we've been sold into this whole idea of fornication. I was hanging out with a girl listening to that song once, a couple of years ago. It's a different girl to the ones that I mentioned in this video. She's a pretty cool person, you know. I was kind of smoking weed at the time and just chilling with her. And we were listening to that song, and she told me this story, like, that she'd been going through this kind of rough time, like, you know, with her ex-boyfriend, and she had actually needed to abort a child, which is pretty sad. But I don't judge her for doing that, because she told me the situation and I completely understand and accept that. And then we were listening to that song one day, and there was this interesting lyric which made me think of her when we were listening to it. And it's, firstborn unicorn. Firstborn unicorn, in my opinion, means abortion. Like, we're fornicating and being sold hardcore soft porn by Hollywood and the media in general. And as a result, it's resulting in abortion, which is pretty sad. And that's another reason why we should be on this practice. Like, do you get it? Are those lyrics, like, speaking to you, or am I just speaking nonsense? I don't know. Look, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for tuning in. You've been watching Semen Retention, or listening, because it's not really a lot to see on this video. But I do appreciate your time, your ears, your energy, and I bless you. With this ritual, I project out into the universe that every single person watching this video will retain even longer. They will attain new gifts and the benefits of longer streaks. They will be in touch with their higher dimensions of being. They'll be in touch with their other supernatural abilities and will understand the deep connection to not only the earth and the environment and all the living beings around them, but the pure essence of God itself. Catch you next time.